I never planned on lying to a room full of billionaires. But there I was, arm around a woman I'd met 4 hours earlier, telling her father-in-law we'd been married since spring. Her name was Elena Voss. I was 23, folding shirts at a dry cleaner 2 blocks from her office tower, when she walked in soaked from the rain and asked, without preamble, if I owned a suit. "Depends who's asking," I said. "Someone who'll pay you $800 to wear it tonight." That should have been my first warning. It wasn't. Her voice had this way of landing, low, unhurried, like she already knew you'd say yes before you did. The car she'd hired smelled like cedar and her perfume, something I couldn't place and haven't stopped thinking about since. She briefed me in under 6 blocks. I was Daniel, her husband of 8 months, a graphic designer, allergic to shellfish, met her at a gallery opening. Her actual husband. CEO, absent, currently somewhere in Geneva not answering his phone, had left her to face his family's annual gathering alone. Again. "Why me?" I asked. She looked at me for a second too long. "You looked like someone who wouldn't ask too many questions." "I asked plenty." She answered none of them honestly, not that night. Inside, under gold light and old money, her hand found mine like it had done it 100 times before. I felt her pulse jump in her wrist. She noticed me noticing. "Relax," she whispered, close enough that I felt it more than heard it. "You're doing great, husband." I laughed. She didn't. Later, when the room thinned out and her father-in-law asked how we met, Elena's grip on my hand tightened, and she said, "Tell him the truth, Daniel." I had no idea what that was. Tell him the truth turned out to mean nothing more dramatic than we met at a gallery. It was fast, we didn't overthink it, a lie so smooth I almost believed it myself. But I felt something shift in her hand before she said it. A half-second of hesitation, like she'd considered telling him something real and then swallowed it. I didn't know yet that Elena Voss didn't do vulnerable. Not in rooms like that. The car ride back was quiet in a different way than the ride there. She'd taken her heels off, feet tucked under her on the seat, and she was looking out the window like the city owed her an explanation. "He wasn't even going to call," she said, "not really to me. 8 months married and he couldn't be bothered to fake a headache." I didn't know what to say to that, so I didn't say anything. Which, it turned out, was the right move. She kept talking. "You're easy to sit next to," she said. "Most people fill silence like it's a debt." I noticed things I had no business noticing. The way she twisted her wedding ring, his ring, like it itched. The small scar above her eyebrow she touched when she thought no one was looking. How she said, "husband," like it was a word she'd rehearsed in the mirror, but said, "Daniel," like it came easier. When the car stopped outside my building, she didn't move to let me out. "Come up for one drink," she said. "You earned it. $800 doesn't cover what you actually did in there." Her hand landed on my forearm, light, almost accidental, except it wasn't. "Elena, I don't think." "One drink," she said again, quieter. "I'm not ready to be alone yet." I should have said no. I got out of the car instead, and followed her in. Her apartment was the top 2 floors of a building I'd walked past 100 times without knowing anyone lived up there. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a kitchen no one cooked in, a couch that still had the tags cut off but never sat on. Everything new. Nothing lived in. She poured 2 glasses of something dark and didn't ask if I wanted ice. "So," I said, mostly to fill the space, "does the real husband know you rent husbands off the street? You're not rented." She handed me the glass, fingers brushing mine a beat too long. "You're borrowed. That's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be honest." She sat, tucking her legs under her again, that habit I was already starting to catalog. Marcus would call it staffing. I call it survival. She told me about him without meaning to, the way people do when they've had one drink too few to lie and one too many to stop talking. Geneva wasn't business. It was an apartment with someone else's toothbrush in it, and she'd known for 6 months, and she'd worn the ring tonight anyway because taking it off felt like admitting something to a room full of people who already knew. "Why didn't you just tell them?" I asked. "Because then it's real." Her voice cracked on real, just slightly, just enough. She looked away first, toward the window, toward nothing. "You're the first person I've said that to out loud. I should have left then. I told myself I would, right after this drink, right after she stopped looking like something breakable holding itself together out of sheer will." Her phone buzzed on the counter. Then again. She didn't move. "That's probably him," she said, not moving to check. Third buzz. She finally looked, jaw tightening at whatever the screen said, and set it face down without answering. "You don't have to do that," I said. "Pretend it doesn't matter." "I'm not pretending it doesn't matter." She was closer now. When had she gotten closer? "I'm pretending you don't matter. It's not working very well." The silence that followed had weight to it, the kind you could lean on and it would hold you up or give way entirely, no way to know which until you tried. I set my glass down. My hand was not steady. "Elena." "Don't," she said softly. "Not yet. Just, don't leave." "Don't leave" turned out to be the easiest instruction anyone had ever given me. I didn't move. Neither did she, not for a long moment, just the 2 of us close enough that I could see the drink hadn't fully steadied her hand either. "This is insane," I said. "You know that, right? 4 hours ago I was pressing a shirt collar for a guy who tips an exact change." "I know. You're married." "I know that too." Something flickered across her face, not denial, not defense. Just tired honesty, the kind that comes out when a person's stopped having the energy to perform. "You want me to say it's complicated?" "It's not. He stopped choosing me a long time ago. I just kept showing up anyway, because leaving felt like proof I'd failed at something." "That's not failing. Tell that to a room full of Voss family portraits." A short laugh, no humor in it. "You saw them tonight. 40 years of women who stayed. I was supposed to be different. I didn't know what to do with my hands, so I didn't do anything with them, and that felt like its own kind of confession." "Why me?" I asked again, the question from the car, the one she never really answered. This time she didn't look away. Because you looked at me tonight like I was a person and not a problem to be managed. Marcus hasn't looked at me like that in years. Maybe he never did. Her voice dropped. And I know that's not fair to put on you. I know you're 23 and I have no right. I'm not thinking about your age. Or mine. What are you thinking about? The question sat there, simple and enormous. I could feel my own pulse in places pulses don't usually announce themselves. She was close enough that answering honestly meant something would happen, and not answering meant something would happen anyway, just slower, quieter, a door left open instead of walked through. I'm thinking, I said, that I should have left an hour ago. And I'm still here. Her eyes searched mine like she was looking for the catch, the part where I'd take it back. I didn't take it back. Elena, I said, what do you want to happen right now? She didn't answer with words. She leaned in. And stopped an inch short, close enough that I felt her breath change, and then the buzzing started again. Not her phone this time. The intercom by the door, harsh and insistent, 3 short bursts. Elena went rigid like something had been switched off inside her. That's not Marcus, she said. He doesn't buzz. He has a key. She crossed to the panel, and I watched her whole posture rebuild itself in real time, spine straight, chin up, the woman from the party stepping back into her skin. She pressed the button. Elena, it's Rosalind. Let me up, sweetheart, I left my scarf. Marcus's mother. Still in the building, apparently, and apparently unwilling to wait until morning for a scarf. 1 second, Elena called, voice smooth as glass. Then, to me, low and fast, bathroom. Now. Please. I didn't argue. I stood in her bathroom in the dark, heart going, listening to muffled voices through the door. Small talk, a scarf found on the entryway table, Rosalind's voice asking who the extra glass on the counter belonged to. Daniel, Elena said, without missing a beat. He walked me up. Wanted to make sure I got home all right. That's sweet, Rosalind said. Where's Marcus? Geneva. Still. A pause, the kind that says more than words. You deserve better than that boy, Elena. I've thought so for years. A door, footsteps, the scarf story ending. Then silence. I came out when she knocked twice, softly, on the bathroom door. She wasn't performing anymore. Whatever had rebuilt itself for Rosalind had come apart again, faster this time, and she looked at me like she was seeing something she hadn't let herself see in the panic, that I'd stood in her bathroom in the dark to protect a marriage that had already stopped protecting her. His own mother knows, I said quietly. That he's not choosing you. She just said it out loud. Elena's eyes were wet, and she was fighting it, jaw tight. Everyone knows. I'm the only one who kept pretending. Then stop. It's not that simple, Daniel. It's Alex, I said. My name's Alex. Daniel isn't real. I don't want to be someone else with you anymore. She stared at me like the floor had shifted. Alex, she repeated, like she was testing the weight of it. Why didn't you say that from the start? Because you needed a Daniel tonight. I figured I'd give you one. I ran a hand through my hair, suddenly aware of how tired I was, how much had happened in one impossible night. But I'm not doing this as somebody else's husband. Not even pretend. If anything's going to happen here, it happens to me. Alex. 23, presses shirts for a living, has no business being in this apartment. You have every business being in this apartment. Her voice wasn't smooth glass anymore. It was just her. I invited you up because I didn't want to be alone, and then I kept you here because you're the first honest thing that's happened to me in years, and that terrifies me more than Marcus ever could. So what happens now? She was quiet a long moment, arms wrapped around herself like she was cold, though the apartment wasn't. I don't know how to do this right, she finally said. I've never left anything in my life. I stay in bad restaurants because I ordered wrong. I stayed in this marriage because leaving felt like a verdict on me, not him. A breath. I don't want to drag you into cleaning up a mess I made. You deserve to start something, not inherit my wreckage. I'm not asking you to fix your marriage tonight. I'm asking you to stop lying about what you want, at least to me. What I want, she said slowly, is terrifying, because it's you. It's not supposed to be you. You're supposed to be a stranger I hired for one night, not. She stopped, pressed her lips together. Not what? Not someone I think about tomorrow. I stepped closer, close enough that this time nothing buzzed, nothing interrupted. Then think about me tomorrow. Call me. Not because you need a husband for a party. Because you want to. She looked at me, really looked, the way she had at the party, the way that started all of this, and reached up, her palm against my jaw, thumb brushing my cheekbone like she was memorizing it. Okay, she whispered. Tomorrow. I promise. I believed her. For the first time all night, I let myself believe something completely. She kept her promise, though it took longer than either of us wanted. 3 weeks. That's how long it took Elena to file for divorce. Not because she was waiting on me, she made that clear, but because she needed to do it for herself first, cleanly, without anyone's hand on her back pushing her toward the door. Marcus didn't fight it much. I think some part of him had been waiting for permission too. I didn't call her every day during those 3 weeks. I wanted to, God, I wanted to, but I understood something by then. She'd spent 8 months being someone's convenient arrangement, and I wasn't going to be her next one, even a good one. So I waited. She called instead, more often than I expected, voice memos sometimes, just her narrating her day like she'd been saving it up to tell someone who'd actually listen. The voicemail she left me that first week, the one I almost didn't listen to, half convinced it would be her taking it all back. Just said, I picked up dry cleaning today and thought of you, which is either very funny or very sad. Call me back, Alex. I called her back. We had our first real date somewhere unglamorous, a diner 2 blocks from the dry cleaner, because she said she wanted to see the version of me that existed before I became somebody's rescue. I liked that she asked. I liked more that she meant it. It wasn't easy after that, the age gap drew looks, her friends had opinions, my mother had more of them. But easy was never really the point. What changed wasn't that a lie became true. It's that somewhere in the middle of a favor and a fake marriage, two people stopped performing for each other and started actually showing up. Elena still twists a ring sometimes, out of habit. It's a different one now. She caught herself doing it once and laughed, really laughed, not the version she used at parties. I think about that first night a lot. How close I came to just taking the $800 and walking away. How glad I am I didn't. Did you enjoy the story? What kind of stories would you like to hear next? A slow burn like this one, a forbidden workplace romance, or something with even higher stakes? Let me know in the comments.